Hey, how's it going? Today is the day. The Borderlands movie is finally out, and I'm going to give my honest thoughts on it. It's currently 1 p.m., and I'm going to go see the movie at 3. I wanted the first minute or two of this video to be my final thoughts before I actually see the movie, and then we'll get into my fresh thoughts right after I see it. I haven't watched any reviews as I wanted my thoughts to be entirely my own. All I have seen is the Rotten Tomato rating, which is not looking good. There's a singular good review, and it's by someone who has never played the game, and says the only good thing about it is Cate Blanchett. She also suggested that the Lilith role should be changed to accommodate an older actor. I have a thought: why not just hire an actor that is younger and would fit the role? Where I'm at right now, I think the movie will be a 3 out of 10. I also thought I would show there are currently 10 people, including me, who have bought tickets to the movie so far. While I'm watching the movie, I'm going to be taking a few notes of things I liked and things I didn't. And the last thing I'll say is this is 100% my opinion. If you don't agree, that's completely okay. Alright, now it's 5:45. I just got back home from the movie and I'm sitting down. I jotted down some notes while I was at the movie. So this is going to be a relatively unedited ramble session, but I'll try and keep it in order of how the movie went along. There are going to be spoilers, so if you don't want anything ruined for you, I'd recommend going and watching the movie first and then coming back to watch my review. The movie started with Tina trapped in a cell and Lilith kind of telling this story. Then Roland comes to save her, breaks her out, and the very first joke in the movie is a Kevin Hart short joke. I know, really unique. That joke has actually never been done before, if you can believe it or not. Moving on though, that's my main gripe with the first section. After that, while they're in the space station, Roland gets Krieg out as well. So Krieg, Tina, and Roland are now in a group together going back towards Pandora. After that, it goes back to Lilith, who's sitting at a bar after capturing someone who I'm pretty sure Lectra City was mentioned here. So she picks up this guy, heads to the bar, and while she's at the bar, Lilith is saying that vault hunting is for the young and stupid. So they are acknowledging that Lilith is supposed to be old in this, and she's much more wise than the Borderlands 1 version of the character. After that, they go to Pandora, and the next interesting thing, the part that I actually thought was really cool, was the way that the car exploded. So the runners look very similar to how they do in the game. An explosive barrel is shot, which sends the car flying like the paper mache ones in BL1. Psychos are flying out of it, and it's pretty cool. It reminds me of exactly how they explode in the game, so I really like that. After that, Lilith runs into Claptrap. Lilith and Claptrap meet up, and this part is actually funny. Claptrap, I thought I would hate Jack Black as Claptrap, and while I still think I would like his original voice actor much better, Jack Black did a pretty good job. I thought Claptrap was the funniest part of this movie for sure. There was another cool scene where a rack, which the racks in this movie are way bigger than they actually are in the game. Probably like 5 to 6 times bigger than they are in the game. So we get this cool shot of a rack flying down and he spears a skag on his tail, which I really liked. I thought that was super cool. Lilith and Claptrap head into a bandit camp. Well, not really a bandit camp, but like a trash pile. I don't even know how to describe it. But Krieg and Tina are there. She sees Tina, and she tries to point a gun at Tina. And after that, Tina hollers like a banshee, and Krieg comes out. And Tina hits probably the worst line in the movie. She says something along the lines of "Big Brudda" in that exact way to Krieg. Like, "Go get him, Big Brudda," or "Krieg is my Big Brudda," something like that. It was pretty rough. To back up a little bit, before Lilith goes there, she says Tina is hiding in Tundra Express. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to get a cool snowy biome. Tundra Express just looks like everywhere else in Pandora. It's a sand, desert-y wasteland, and it really doesn't look like Tundra Express. So I was slightly disappointed for that. I would have liked to see a little bit more variation in environment, but not the biggest gripe. That it's just a little complaint I have. One part in this, after Lilith meets up with Tina and Roland, they do that whole piss wash goalie section that you saw in the trailer a million times. And they get back to Tanis. And when they're hanging out with Tanis, they're sitting up in this little room, and Tina is saying that she was created by Atlas with Iridian blood. And It's really not gone into detail what happens there. I'm not sure if it's saying like she was created in a test tube or something like that, but this whole movie we're thinking Tina is this so-called daughter of Iridia. So keep that in mind for now. That's really all I'll say. They didn't go into too much detail, so I can't explain it that well. Other than she said she was created with Iridian blood that was found on a piece of the key, I believe. Now, the next section of the movie, they head to Caustic Caverns. And this part, I was excited for. I was hoping there was this wide open goo lake with that, the Caustic Caverns neon green. And I thought it was going to be a huge lake, but it turned out to just be like a sewer system almost. So they climb up on this ledge and they're avoiding stepping in the neon green Caustic Caverns goo. And I thought that was pretty cool. The corrosive lava, whatever you want to call it, looked really good in the movie. In this movie, the Caustic Caverns is kind of like Bloodshot Stronghold with all of the psychos being there, and that was the main psycho fight of the movie. As they're escaping from the psychos, there was a stair joke. Claptrap couldn't make it up the stairs, so Krieg picks him up by his wheel and then bangs his head as he's walking up the stairs. So that was pretty funny. I figured there was going to be a stair joke, but I'm glad to see that there was at least one put in there. Krieg also, this was back in the Tina scene now, way earlier when Krieg was first introduced, he did have the voice line, "You woke the wrong dog," and I liked that one. I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm glad that they included some voice lines from the game, or at least quotes from the game. Now, the whole point of this was to find 2 pieces of the vault key, and Tina was supposedly the daughter of Iridia and the 3rd piece. So once they get the actual solid pieces that you can hold, they clicked in together, and it revealed the location of the vault, which was very cool. So that's somewhat sticking to story, other than the 2 pieces of it, but it was cool how it all turned out. I didn't mind that part, other than maybe just finding one big vault key would have been cool, because there was a tiny little vault key that got like screwed into the bigger vault key, and those were the 2 pieces that were needed. There's one point where Tina thinks that Lilith is working for Atlas and tries to turn her in, so Tina throws a grenade, which knocks out Lilith, leaving her and Claptrap behind after everyone else leaves. She wakes up and makes it back to her old house, which she used to live on Pandora. Claptrap kind of falls over. They see a flame of the Firehawk drawing on the ground, and Claptrap starts tweaking. So he falls down, and a hologram of Lilith's mom starts playing, which basically explains she is the daughter of Iridia. And she is a siren, basically. So let's go. They stuck true to Lilith being the siren. They were kind of just baiting everyone with the Tina thing, I believe. So I was at least happy to see that Lilith got to be a siren at the very end. At this point, too, they had a flashback, and Jamie Lee Curtis, or Tannis, had black hair. And it actually looked good. So I don't know why they didn't just keep the black hair, or make Tannis just, I don't know, look a little bit more like the character. Now we're at the final scene of the movie. They're outside of the vault. Tina tries to open it, but it doesn't work because she is not the daughter of Iridia. After that, Nox shows up, the Atlas main guy shows up, and then Crom shows up, the guy with the mouthpiece helmet. After they arrive, Lilith shows up late, and she says, I can open the vault because she knows now she's the daughter of Iridia. Once she starts opening the vault, then she gets sucked up and turns into the Firehawk, which has been prophesized. Now she has these flame powers that are pretty cool. I mean, definitely not lore accurate at all, but she can start flying now, and she can use like a flame shield. And there were pictures where it looked like some like bluish red was circling around Roland, and that's some sort of like invincibility shield that Lilith put on all of the characters. Flame circling around them makes them not be able to get hit by bullets, and makes them be able to clear out the psychos pretty easily. Krieg then starts fighting Crom, and Krieg's able to take down Crom. That was his kind of side fight. Nox gets turned into a cloud of dust. She gets lasered by Atlas's ship, so that was the biggest letdown. She just got instantly blown up. As she was touching the vault, they gave a flashback montage of all of the signs in the movie that Lilith was actually going to be the daughter of Iridia. So I thought that was kind of funny. It was a really bad flashback montage. It makes it seem like the directors think the audience is stupid and just couldn't pick up on it on their own, because it was very obvious throughout the movie. It got more progressively obvious that she was the daughter of Iridia, or a siren, I guess, even though it wasn't really called that in the movie. After Lilith touches the vault key and gets sucked up, she also gets the tattoos on her. So she had no tattoos at the beginning of the movie. By the end, once she turned into the Firehawk, then she got the blue siren tattoos, or whatever they want to call it. At the very end, Atlas takes Tina hostage, and Lilith, Tina, and Atlas all go into the vault, where there's a bunch of iridium technology. He's super happy. He's giddy with joy. And Lilith can now phase walk. So there hasn't been phase walking throughout the entire movie, but now Lilith can phase walk, so that's cool. She's kind of teleporting around, messing with him. And finally, she steals the shield. She steals his shield from him. And I'll come back to the shield part later, but he is the only character in the entire movie to have a shield. So Lilith steals his shield from him. Tina stomps on his foot, and then Atlas is eaten by the vault monster. You never get to see it, but it's kind of like the Destroyer's tentacles, but there's no eye or anything like that. Just the tentacles come out, grab him down. After that, they head back to Sanctuary. The Sanctuary in this movie looks like a Borderlands 3 version. It's really high, like multi-story, with a lot of neon lights, like Electricity maybe. After that, they all celebrate. Fireworks are going off. Roland and Krieg go and get drunk, and then she's talking to Tina and says, okay, I guess I can do the fire thing for you. I'm getting a little old for this, though. That's exactly how she said it. No exaggeration there. Then she flies up into the sky and does the Firehawk big logo, and that's how the movie ends. And then there was a small post-credit scene. It was like mid-credit scene, actually. And Claptrap's dancing around, doing a dance. I'm pretty sure he twerked. That was pretty rough to watch. Other than that, it ends. He says, this is what the fans want. The movie's over. Now I'm going to talk about the few things that I wish would have been included. The story's whatever. I just kind of went into it thinking it's not going to be really related to the games, other than the characters from the games are used. So that part did make me sad. Going back to the pieces that it didn't have that I do wish it had, because they didn't really show off a lot. Atlas, like I said, Atlas was the only one with a shield in the entire game. So shields were just not a part of the game, which I thought was pretty funny. Same with grenades. There was 2 scenes where grenades were thrown, and they were pretty just basic explosions. Tina did have some cool bunny grenades that she threw, like badonkadonks from the game. So those were used quite a bit, and those were fairly cool. I like that. But they weren't like tied to a rocket or anything. It was really just like a bunny with a grenade inside of it. That's about it. There was no elemental guns. Guns are such a huge part of Borderlands, but there was not a single elemental gun in the entire game. And Lilith's guns were also very inconsistent. So Marcus was a character too, but he pointed out, oh, how could I forget you? You had the Vladoff Infinity Pistol. And that's true. Lilith had the Infinity Pistol for basically the entire movie. That was her main gun that she would use. The barrel would spin. It looked very cool. But halfway through the scene, when they were in Caustic Caverns fighting the bandit, the Infinity Pistol just turned into a revolver and started firing way differently. So that part was a little rough, just not consistent. It sucks to see, like, the Infinity Pistol could have been such a cool gun. Even if they didn't want to do the Borderlands 2 art style, which they didn't, they could have made it red, but all it was a silver pistol with like a tiny Infinity logo on it and a spinning barrel, which was cool, but then they just stopped using it. So what's really the point there? My final complaint is that there were no action skills used, except for phase walking at the very end of the movie. Like the last 10 minutes, action skills were used. Roland didn't use his turret. Krieg didn't do anything crazy other than just use his buzz axe like a normal psycho would, except he's just a more buffed up version. Action skills, I would have really liked to see Roland's turret. I feel like a cool phase walk would have been used instead of just like Lilith turning invisible and popping back. It would have been cool to see like an outline of her, maybe like going fast. I don't know what I was really hoping for there, but I was hoping to see Roland's turret, and it wasn't there, so that was a huge disappointment. I don't have anything else to say, really, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the movie, or at least found some things you did like about it, because there were a few things I liked. So I think my final score, I thought I was going to give it a 3 out of 10, but I think I'm going to end it with a 4 or even a 4.5 out of 10. Now my rating is a 5 out of 10 is a perfectly average movie, and the Borderlands movie was slightly below average in my opinion. It was kind of just like a typical sci-fi movie. There weren't many things that made it Borderlands specific. It really could have just been any characters on Pandora, and it didn't have that unique Borderlands feel, so I was a little bit sad about that. And they didn't play Ain't No Rest for the Wicked. That's the biggest mess up ever. I would have loved to hear that song in the opening or closing scene. So that's my scuffed first day movie review. I hope you all have a great rest of your day or night whenever you're watching this. I'll be back with another video soon. I think I'm done talking about the Borderlands movie though. There's just really not much else to say. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment your opinion down below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, that's all I have to say. See ya.